everyone, it's Ken, and today I'm going to be doing a product opening for the upcoming English edition White Schwartz Booster Pack and Trial Deck for Bocchi. These will be releasing on the 14th of June, and I'm going to be just showcasing you what you can expect from this product when they do release. So let's get right into it. Starting off, got the Trial Deck. Looks like this, in a standard box with one card showing at the front. Let's open it up. Looks like this. Okay. So you get the standard 50 card deck, as well as paper playmats, has all the zones shown on it. Backside has a general idea of how to play the deck, some instructions, as well as the full card list, including how many copies of each one you should be getting. And rules sheet, version 2.0. Go through all the rules for people who are starting the game, or quick reference if you're getting used to it. And more detailed steps on how the game progresses on the back. Alright, so the deck itself, here it is. It's got a plastic little thing around it keeping it in place. Let's take it off. Alright, so front card, Hitori Goto, always comes in foil. I think it's in SR rarity, yeah. Ijishi Nichika, 3 of those. 3 copies of this Nichika. 1 of this duel. 3 Bocchi or Hitori. 1 of this duel, 1 of this Nichika, 1 of this Nichika, and so forth. Let's skip through it. And yeah, and I think at the back it has 1 copy of every card that already appeared in the trial deck. The random foil I think appears in this section, so this just has the guaranteed 1 foil, and this the foil edition of one of these cards may appear in one of these slots, and it's all the way back here. Looks like I've got a triple rare version of new nickname Hitori Goto. It's got this kind of, don't know how to describe it, this patterned foil on it. A bit hard to see on camera, but it's got a patterned foil just on the background there. You can find. Yeah. In terms of the card effects, I think this trial deck has some decent stuff. The frontmost card has nice ability, which when it's placed from hand to stage, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck and look for an event. If you find an event, you can add it to your hand and then discard 1. And also, if your opponent only has 1 card in that front row, you can play this to send it straight to the waiting room if it's a cost 0 lower. There's also a few other kind of interesting cards. There's this level 1 event, band name Kesoku Band. Let's use such for a climax. Kesoku Band. Isn't that the word for zip tie? So I actually speak Japanese, but I didn't know what zip ties were called in Japanese until I watched this anime. So it didn't really click with me that the name of the band was a bit off, but good to know, I guess. Yeah, so it's got some climaxes as well. This one, all of the other guitarist and vocalist Ikuyo Kita get 1000 power and 1 soul, and you can discard a card to add the aforementioned card to your hand. What's the... It's a level 1 5/5 with no text. This is quite scary. You get to hit your opponent with additional soul. Yeah, there's a good number of cards in here that you can play. This is a nice counter, gives 2000 to something, and gets you closer to your deck's cancel, because if the top card of your deck's a character, you can just add it to your hand and discard them. So yeah, the trial deck, by no means is something that you're going to be like winning tournaments with, but it's definitely a good starting point. It has like a fair share of effects that you would want in a standard deck. This level 1 Climax combo story is completely fine. Like, it adds cards to your hand, it gets power in your turn, it does all, like, everything this card does is sort of what you want in a level 1 game. So if you're just starting, I would say this trial deck is a decent point to start. I think it'll get you used to the rules, and I think on the sheet it even says what you can change around to upgrade. back of the playmat. Yeah, it says when you get used to playing, you can modify your deck by changing these, by adding the cards in the red area to the cards with the cards in the blue area. So yeah, it's got some advice. Obviously, if you want to take it further, you can make all your own additions. You can ask people at your locals, maybe even online. There's a lot you can do to mod this deck, but as a starting point, yeah, I think it's very serviceable. Has a lot of good effects in it. Alright, let's get around to the booster pack. Alright, so onto the booster packs. I've got one box here. One box contains 16 boosters, if I remember correctly. Looks like this. I'll get around to opening it right now. Yeah, so each booster display comes with one of these promos. I think there's 4 different ones, one for each member of the band. This one is Mysterious Yo Yamada. Gains 1,500 power for each character in your opponent's backstage, so that's a max of 7,000. Gets somewhat sizable, but it is kind of dependent on your opponent's board state, so it's okay. It's not incredible, but it's a fine card. It is cute. I like the background with all the colourful notes in all their colours, and yeah, it's a cool card. Alright, so for boosters, boosters looks like this. There's some product information on the back, as well as what you can expect in the booster packs. Yeah, and there's 8 on each side, so yeah, there's 16 packs per box. Alright, so I'm just going to open everything up at once. I'm just going to cut all the tops once and then get through to it to cut some time, and you don't have to get bored of me just opening everything one by one. Pull the cards out. Normally I don't open packs like this, just for the record. I would also just not recommend doing this, because you might accidentally cut the top of some of the cards inside your booster pack, and it doesn't feel good when you do that. There is a little bit on the top here when you open boosters, so you can kind of just peel it from there. I would generally recommend this method, but I am cutting it up to save time. So with that out of the way, let's see what's in these packs. So the first one, got these. So I think with the new format, there's 4 commons at the front, and then a mystery slot, which can be any rarity except for rare? No, I think it can be any rarity. In this case it was foil, and SR super rare right off the bat. What is this? It's Futari Goto, that's the main character's sister hair. So ability, put one card from your hand into the waiting room. This card is placed from stage from your hand. You can pay the cost. If you do, choose one level X or lower music character in your waiting room and return it to your hand, where X is equal to the number of Bocchi-chan Hitori Goto in your waiting room. I think the card that it mentions by name is mentioned by quite a few cards. I believe it's a double rare in the set. Hopefully we open one of those so this foil card doesn't go to waste. Otherwise it'll just be savaging level 0s forever, I guess. Which I suppose isn't that bad, because I think this title has quite a few decent level 0s. But yeah, so past the mystery rarity slot, there's 2 uncommons, which will be these 2. Then 1 rare card, as well as 1 climax. So when I open stuff, I like sorting things by rarity, just so it's easier to find things later. So I'll go climax, rare, uncommons, commons, and foils just over here. Alright, moving forward. Next one. Kita Goso. Oh, that's that must be an evil plan. Non-stop drinking. That's me on my days off. Another Kita. And then this time in the random rarity slot, we've got Ripe Mangoes, which is an uncommon. Then followed by 2 more uncommons as last time, and a rare. From memory, I think this uncommon is really strong. Attention-seeking monster, Hitori Goto. Yeah, so when it attacks, if it's facing a level 3 or higher card, it gets plus 6k, which that in itself is a fairly standard effect. You'll probably see it every other set or something. But the second line, when your opponent uses an active ability, this card gets plus 6 power until an end of turn, where X is the number of music characters that you have times 500. So because it does count itself on a full stage, this card will get 2,500 power. And notably, the second line is not restricted to once per turn. So if your opponent brainstorms twice in a turn, this card will get 5k, which means a 2-1 12k after probably beating your opponent's level 3. It just trades really well with your opponent's cards. It also responds to backups, so if your opponent uses a backup with anything less than 2,500 power, it means that the backup actually helps this card win the battle more. And at 2,500, it just doesn't change the difference in power. At 3,000, it only makes 500 difference. So, yeah, this card is really good at fighting for stage presence. So, really powerful card. Then Ukiyo Kita, plus 2,000 to level 3 or higher in front, and it's got a climax. When you trigger a climax, you can add a character from your waiting room to your hand. Yeah, it kind of fixes your hand a bit when you trigger too many climaxes. Ecstatic After Praises. This is also a pretty good card. When it goes to the waiting room, you can pay 1 and put the top card of your deck into your block, and add up to 2 characters or disgraceful histories from the top of your deck to your waiting room. So this card, you can attack with it, and then it refarms your hand when it goes to the waiting room. We're a pretty solid card. You can play aggressive with it in the other game. Pretty nice. And there's a climax. If I keep talking about everything, I think we're going to be here forever, so I'll zip past some of the ones. But again, 4 commons. Oh, I think this is the Bocchi-chan that was mentioned earlier. Yeah, it's definitely this card. So it's a double rare. I think this is one of the chase double rares being mentioned on quite a few cards. When it reverses, you can look it up 3 from the top of your deck, add a character or a disgraceful history, and then discard one. Also, when it reverses, if it's battling a level 0 or lower, you can send that opponent's character to stock and then make your opponent pay out the bottom card of their stock. So deals with your opponent's cards, moves to your first deck, overall really solid, also supports your utility cards like this one. So yeah, definitely a card that you want to have multiples of. Then 2 uncommons, rare and climax. Next, 4 commons, 2 uncommon, sorry, 1 more uncommon, so 3 uncommons in this pack, rare. Do want to mention this card. I think it sees some amount of play as a one-off in some more tournament-oriented decks. So when it comes into play, it gets power if you have another duel, but also more notably, when it's played, you can pay 1 and you can choose 1 trait of a character on your opponent's stage, and all of your opponent's characters lose that trait. So trait is the stuff written here, so this one's music and leader trait. In a vacuum, this ability doesn't really do anything, but because a lot of cards in this game they support cards based on what traits they have. So sometimes against certain decks, wiping your opponent's characters off a particular trait can be devastating. Like, it means all the characters could lose power or a specific ability, whatnot. So yeah, I see this card being played as a silver bullet of sorts in some decks. Definitely one to watch out for. If you find one in your common stack, you should probably keep an eye out for it, because you might end up using it. This one is 4 commons, 5th common, 2 of these, rare and climax. This card's also mentioned, what's it called, disgraceful history quite a few times, so I guess if I go past one of those, I should take note. Here's the standard version of this card, rare, usually a common, 4 commons in SR, so if you like shiny cardboard, you should look for those. That's 3. Oh, there's another double rare. True Face of Guitar Hero, Historical. If you have 3 or more other characters, it gets 1,000, goes to 5/5, which is the same size as the vanilla. And experience, put a card from your hand into your waiting room. When it attacks, if you have the associated climax in your climax area, the total level of the cards in your level is 2 or higher. You can pay the cost, which is discard 1. You can look at up to 3 from the top of your deck. Choose up to 3 disgraceful history or music characters from among them, add them to your hand and put the rest in your waiting room. So I think this is the level 1 combo of choice in the more tournament-oriented builds. Of course, you discard 1 and gain up to 3 cards. You can go total plus, you can go net plus 2. It goes through your deck, and there's a card in this title which allows you to increase your hand size limit by a bit, so you can really utilize the fact that this gets more hand than an average combo if you get all three. So yeah, solid card. Pretty nice to have that. Then 2 uncommons, and climax. 1, 2, 3, 4. Uncommon. It's a useful card. When it comes into play, you can pay 1 and discard 1. Choose a opponent chooses the climax in their own waiting room and puts the rest back into their deck. So, you know, if your opponent has a lot of climaxes in their thin deck, you can use this to shuffle back all the non-climaxes and try and get a bit of damage in. Pretty neat card. You can probably use one in most decks if you can fulfill the color, which is fairly easy, and it should help you quite a bit. Oh, there's another foil. This is Ripe Mangoes. I think we saw that card earlier. Let's dig it up. Should be an uncommon because it's an advance. Oh yeah, so it's a foil version of this card, which has different artwork. I think you can see it. Got this nice impact line glow going on. If the total level of the cards in your level is 5 or higher, choose up to 1 Surgeon Power Heroic Auto in your hand, put it on any position on your stage, and put this card face up underneath that card as a marker. I think that's I think it was a common level 3. Yeah, it's this card. It gets power for each marker under it, so you get out early and you start reversing your opponent's cards, get more markers, and it's big and unbeatable. It's a cool card, I guess. It's very funny to see this box of, well, this empty box of mangoes just makes her more powerful. 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's a double rare. Oh, it's also Disgraceful History. Right, so double rare, Admiration for the Extraordinary Kyokita. If you have 4 music characters, it loses a level in your hand, so you can play it out at level 2. If you have 3 or more other characters, it gets 2,000 power, going to 10,500. And if it's in your center stage, that is your front row, all of your music characters get 1,500 power. That includes herself, so basically she's 12,000 while assisting your other characters for 1,500. This doesn't really help you in terms of doing any damage, but the power boost is quite big, and the fact that she herself is very large means that she's really good at helping the player as well as the other cards on the board win the stage. So there's a card in this set which it's a level 3 that comes out at level 2 and heals. It's not very big, but if you put it alongside this, it becomes quite sizable. So yeah, it's a good card to make your board presence quite strong. And then this is Disgraceful History. I think this has 2 variants. Yeah, so this is one of 2 different artworks. There's also multiple effects shared among cards with the name Disgraceful History, but this one specifically is your opponent returns all cards from their stock to their deck, shuffles their deck, puts the same number of cards from the top of their deck into their stock, then you give 4,000 to something and this goes to your memory. It's a bit unintuitive if you're not used to the game why this would be a decent effect. I mean, it just basically randomizes what's in your opponent's deck, right? But it means that if your opponent is very compressed, that is, they have a high ratio of climaxes to non-climaxes in their deck, you can use this to try and shuffle out the climaxes by putting them into their stock. Although it is a bit random, it's, you know, it's better than not attempting to do that. So yeah, it gives you a chance of winning the game from bad spots. So, and it's also it's also a card they can add from these cards. So yeah, it's pretty accessible. Solid card. Alright, 4. Oh, they're not that upright. Pretty good at this. Okay, this Nezuka is all characters in front get X power. X is equal to the character's level times 500, and you can discard a copy of this card and rest 2 characters to put 2 cards from the top of your deck into your stock. Oh, that's interesting. So normally this kind of card you don't really want to play too many copies of in a deck, but this card's second effect means that if you play multiple, you don't get. If you draw your second copy almost, you don't just have this card that you don't really want to play sitting in your hand, it actually gives you another form of resource. It's kind of neat, I guess. You can use the stock to, say, maybe early play this appeal. Yeah, it's an interesting card. It's another double rare. Right, let's become Rockstar's Dual Yamada. When it attacks, choose one of your other music characters against 500 times the number of other music characters you have, and beginning your opponent's attack phase. If there's a card facing this card, you can move it to an open position of your center stage. So you can play it on your first turn to move away and let it survive your opponent's turn. If you're going second or on any other turn aside from your first, you can use it to pump something to beat over. It's a nice card. Pretty sure it's decent play. Let's keep going. Oh, there's the other Disgraceful History. This one's a level 1 event. It just searches for a music character and adds it to your hand, then sends it to memory. It's an alert effect. You can use this whenever you need to set, if you don't need a particular card, you can just hold onto it. Once you know what you need, you can use it. It's pretty neat. Oh, it's another foil. That's a foil version of Static After Praises Story Bottle. It's also got that checkered foil. I think it's similar to the triple rare we found in the trail deck. I think this one has the same artwork as the rare version. Here we are. So for comparison, looks like that. The artwork is the same, but the flavor text is different, so there is a small change there. It's nice. Oh, and here is the rare heal that I mentioned earlier. You can play it without paying its stock cost if you instead send this level 0 Shuri to waiting room. She heals on play, and yeah, she comes out early if you have 2 or fewer climaxes in the waiting room. As a standalone card, it's a bit costly. It requires 2 hands to come out for free, including herself, and she's only 9,500 power, so it's not that big. But if you couple it with this Kita, she's quite large, so yeah, it's a good combo. Synergizes quite well. Right, so here's the summary from my 1 box plus 1 trial deck. So the trial deck, I just got standard trial deck, got 1 triple rare card, and from the booster box I got 5 double rares and 3 super rares, or SRs, the foils. Looks like this set has 100 different foils, which means every single card from the booster pack can come in foil variant. So it means that you can actually have a shiny deck of 50 shiny cards if you like, or a collection of all 100 shiny cards from the set. It's pretty fun, and I think, don't 100% quote me on this, every booster probably has 3 foils to kind of make sure that it's a bit easier to get all the foils in the set, but I think it should be at least 2, probably 3 in everyone, and 5 double rares in this box. I think there's some boxes which might have which might only have 4, but at least in this box we've got 5 and 3. I'm pretty happy with my pulls. I think quite a few of these cards will be seeing play in my deck, and as well as the rares as well. There's quite a few useful ones in here. But yeah, this is what you'll get in a trial deck and booster pack, booster box of Bocchi the Rock. So yeah, just a reminder, this releases on the 14th of June 2024, so you can get them at your local game store. Yeah, that's it. So that was me, Ken, and I hope you have a good time with Bocchi the Rock. See you later.